we're pretty much, not to the date, but close to celebrating 12 months since the first appearance of this guest on the football podcast. They came in as... Well, I'll tell my story. So when I started the Footy Pod with Thomas, it started in February of 2023, and I was like, I'd had in the back of my head that I wanted to do a footy show, but I was like, because I like talking about it, but I wanted it to kind of be about talking about footy in a different way, because there was a lot of, get stuffed, you fucking dog. A lot of that going on. And I was like...
Which we love to do.
And I'm surprised at how much that actually is in this, and I apologise for that. But then I was like, I would love to find some different voices out there who aren't heard about. And so I started to go out and try and find people and chat to people. And I found it really hard because particularly, and to be really just upfront with it, I wanted some female representation, because where we come from in comedy, it's a very different ball game to sport. And I was like, I'd love to find someone who's funny and interesting, comes from a different perspective, and understands online versus being on Channel 7 as a thing. And I just found it really, really, really hard. And then I was on TikTok one day, and this person came up, and I was like, I know that name from The Age. I'd seen articles from them in The Age. And then and they started talking about footy, and they were doing TikTok. I was like, this is someone who knows what's going on. And so I followed them on Insta, and they followed back, and I was like, great. And then I messaged this person out of the blue, and they were like, don't fucking message me again. No, they were like, yeah, great, cool. I was like, would you be interested in coming on for an interview? And they were like, sure. And I had in the back of my head, it would be great if they're awesome. Maybe they can come on occasionally. I said to you, Tom, I found someone who's really cool. Then you came on and we did an interview, and then our audience were like, more of that person. We love this person so much. And it's been so nice for the last 12 months to just see how... No, I was hoping that by getting some different voices who aren't seen across the platform as regularly, that it would champion different voices. But what it's done is it's just showcased how much people love you and want to hear from you. And I've talked too much, but please welcome Marnie Vinyl.
That was a good intro, Broden.
That was overwhelmingly flattering.
But it's how have you felt since coming on this last year?
Yeah.
Because
really good.
You had to get clearance, do you remember?
Well, yeah, I mean, I still have to get clearance.
Yes.
Really. Because the Age do get, like, say yes or no to whatever I do, because I'm an Age employee first and foremost. It's been great. It genuinely is a bit overwhelming, especially because I've come up through AFLW and women's sports sections. My target audience has never been the young men, and I suddenly have all of these young men in my DMs and stuff, but just being really supportive and nice and lovely, and a lot of, like, my following's grown a little bit, and it's a lot like young, not by, I'm not being like at your standard, but just like like a bit,
yeah,
and it has been like
yeah.
an increase of like audience that I haven't really felt like I've been able to speak to before. Which has changed things in my brain a little bit about how I speak and who I speak to, because I kind of just assumed, well, I'm speaking to women, but I'm not really, because I've had people like in real life come up to me and say like, I got into the Women's World Cup because of you, or like, I like the X that you say about AFLW, or like, I learned about this thing because of you, and I've just never really thought about that I could speak to people.
You thought that you would, like, your career in sport would have to be just focusing on women's sport and talking to women only?
No, I didn't. I mean, I never pigeonholed myself like that, or like I never really considered it, I think, too strongly, but I was kind of, like, if I'm being honest, I was just like, I feel safe in women's spaces.
Yep.
And now I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm in a 70-30 men to women space, which is great. Like, I'm like, it's great, but it's changed my thinking about my work a little bit as well.
I think our audience veers, I think at the moment, and it may have changed upon your arrival, to be honest, and I feel it on the other way too, because I think our audience is actually skewing closer to about 65.
Oh, that's cool.
35. I struggled with the math for a moment there.
Yes, you did. But also,
that was a dramatic pause. It wasn't a dramatic pause, it was a math pause. And I've felt it from the other perspective. I think there's people genuinely here every Wednesday night who are here because of you as well. I think you have an inbuilt audience as well. And so we've benefited from the other perspective as well.